Hello! Lovely to see you all again. I'm sorry that I haven't seen you for such a long time. It's been quite a challenging time for us all, hasn't it? But I hope you're all well and you're all coping, and I hope you're all keeping active and essentially keeping going out walking. So make sure you're walking every day. Make sure you're doing whatever exercise and movement you can to keep yourself happier, healthier, fitter, and even better now with the walking, you can buddy up with somebody. So if I can help you at all, or if any of the Silverfit people can buddy you up and get you in contact with somebody where you can go out walking, social distancing of course, then please, please, please contact us and we'll get you in contact with somebody so that you don't have to go walking it alone in the park, although I'm sure you've been saying hello and chatting to people from a distance. And yes, so I hope you have been getting out, and if you haven't, please start going out if you can, obviously keeping your social distance and keeping safe. I want to go through the basic routine that I've been doing with the Nordic Walkers. I'm going to do it with the poles so that we all feel at home, excuse the pun, so we all feel at home, and our basic, just a reminder of your mobilising warming up, also a reminder of the cool down stretches that we do so that you'll all be familiar and feel again at home with those. As I say, I'm encouraging you to keep your walking going. But also, those of you who've been walking with me for the last couple of years, I've been doing some exercises with you. So I'm going to do those 6 exercises, which I recommend to be the best and the most basic all-round body exercises for muscular strength and endurance, which I recommend that you should, that are ideal to be doing. So just 6 exercises, not too much, not too little, and I'm going to try and keep it as basic as I can to encourage you to do the most essential basic 6 exercises which I recommend to be done. There are lots of variations, and I've got I think Silverfit have got a Facebook with lots of variations that I'm doing, and there are lots of variations, but I'm going to keep it as basic as I can, those 6 exercises today. We can do a mobilising warm-up that we usually do, so with your poles or without your poles, entirely up to you. Basic heels toes, which you're all familiar with. Heels toes, so mobilising those ankles and feet there, and recommending doing 10 to 20 of those to mobilise there. And when you've done those, we usually go on to the knee raises. Now, posture, I want to mention posture because we always do posture when we're walking. I want you to keep your belly in and bottom in, and keep your chest up and shoulders down. So the shoulders down and back, chest up, so we haven't got the shoulders here, we're not leaning forward, the chest is lifted, the shoulders are down, the belly's in, bottom in, and breathing. As you know, I usually like my breathing. So you can raise your knee as high as you feel comfortable. If you can get your knee higher, that's good for your core and hip flexors. But if it's not good for your back and you're not able to raise your knees higher, the lower knee raises are good as well. So keeping those shoulders down, those knee raises. We've got leg curls. Again, 10 to 20 of those. So leg curls. This is all to mobilise your knee joints, hip joints, and the muscles, get the muscles warmed up and moving. So transferring the weight from one leg to the other and curling the heel to your bottom. Again, posture, shoulders down, belly in, breathing. And just raising your heels as far as you feel comfortable. Fabulous. We usually do some shoulder rolls, some big shoulder rolls backwards. Again, 10 to 20 of those. And again, we're drawing our belly in, we're breathing, the bottom's in. The knees are slightly soft, we don't have to lock them completely straight, just slight bend in the knees. Big, so we've done those 10 to 20, we can go forwards as well. Big, big, big shoulder rolls. And breathing, keep the shoulders down. And end with the going backwards because that's better for posture. Shoulders up, back and down. So up and back and down. Now a little bit more for the waist and shoulders and arms. Sometimes I know some of you guys who do the Nordic Walking do the Kayaking Backwards. So you take your poles and do that circling backwards there. Again, 10 to 20 of those. This is good for mobilising the waist, shoulders, arms. And forwards. A bit like front crawl or paddling opposite way. Keep those shoulders down. Again, knees slightly bent. Tummy nice and firm. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And again, let's finish going backwards because it's better for the posture. Opening your chest, keeping the shoulders down, belly in, breathing. Everything up and in. Fabulous. So that's just very basic mobilising, and you go out walking, you can do your exercises, whatever, or get on with your day, whatever you like to do. I'm just going to go through some those 6 exercises that I spoke about, and then do the stretches at the end, which again you'll feel at home with. So I'd like to do first of all squatting. Those of you who've been with me for the last few years, we usually do a few squats, maybe at the beginning, usually at the end, just to work these thighs and bottom. And you can do the little squats if your knees don't bend, if they're not happy bending because they hurt a little bit or got some injury or restriction. You can do a tiny little knee bend. Stick your bottom out behind you, bring those toes up and then come up nice and straight in between. So get nice extension in between. Stick your bottom out. Again, 10 to 20. If you've been doing lots of these and you're very fit, you can do up to 30. But start off with 10 if you're not sure, and the little knee bends. If you want to go a bit deeper because you've been doing these for the last 2 weeks or more and your knees are good and your hips and your back is good, if you know your back and hips and knees are good, then you can go a little bit deeper. But don't if you're not sure. Do these little ones, tiny little knee bends. Only go deeper, bend those knees more, only when and if you feel good. So those are the squats. We have lunge backs. So these are a bit more intense, and they're more intense for the knees, hips and thighs. Lunging back with your one leg, keep your feet hip width apart, and then standing up. Then lunge back, stride back with the other leg. I'm going to show you sideways on in a minute. Again, you don't need to bend your knees very much. If you just want to rock backwards and forwards, hardly bending your knees at all because the thighs don't like it, or the knees don't like it, or the hips or back don't like it very much. So that little rock back, if you're not sure, just stepping backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Chest up, shoulders down, belly in, breathing. So just a little rock back, so you're transferring the weight backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. If you want to make that a bit more intense and your knees, hips and thighs and back are good, you can bend the knee a bit, make sure the knee is above the ankle, make sure you can see your foot as you lunge back, and then swap over, lunge back with the other leg, lunge back with the other leg, lunge back with the other leg. Count every single one, so you're doing 10 to start off with, especially if you haven't done these for a while, and just with a little knee bend if you're not sure. Just with a little knee bend. If you've been doing these and you're really good at these and they're very easy, then you can go a bit deeper, but only if your knees, hips and thighs and back are good. Start off with 10, so it's 5 on each leg. You can go up to 20 and up to 30 when you get fitter, stronger. You practice this 3 times a week, ideally, these exercises, 3 times a week. 1, 2 or 3 sets, 3 times a week. So those are lunge backs. Those are quite intense, so careful with those. Balancing, we want to stay upright and good balance. So balance on the leg that you feel isn't as good as the other one. So it's usually when you have more injuries, more problems. The recent one with had recent injury, you might need to hold on to something. Draw up nice and tall from the middle of that foot. Belly in, shoulders down, bottom in, breathing. So with or without holding on, balancing. If you can do it without balancing or holding on, then great. But if you do need to touch something to hold and help balancing. Anything from 15 seconds up to a minute, so you can gradually increase time as you get better. Go on to the other leg. So the other leg should be your better, stronger, even stronger leg. Keeping these hips nice and level. Don't let the hip drop down. Hips nice and level and straight. Shoulders down. Shoulders nice and straight. Draw that belly in, bottom in, breathing. Shoulders, nice long neck. Not shoulders up here, shoulders down. We're going to practice that in the plank at the end. And when you've done that, you can go to the not so good leg. So depending on which leg you felt was a bit more wobbly, not as coordinated, not as good, then go back to that one. We want 2 lots on your not so good leg. Now the reason being, your good leg gets a lot of a look in and gets more exercise, so therefore it gets stronger and stronger. So we need to do 2 lots on the not so good side. So practice on that not so good side. Try and get that a bit stronger and get it as strong as your stronger leg. There we go. So that's the balancing. Lots of variations on that, but that's a basic one. Rowing. Now, I've been telling you or advising you all to get resistance bands. Please get your resistance bands. We can do everything with these resistance bands, and especially this rowing exercise, because there's not many other ways of working the back muscles, and we must work the back muscles as well. So we've put this around securely around our feet. Chest up, shoulders down. We're going to keep our shoulders here. We're going to bend our elbows and straighten. Bend the elbows and straightening. And we're not doing this with the shoulders. We're not rocking backwards and forwards. We're sitting on the edge of the chair, a nice, stable, firm chair. Chest up, shoulders down. Squeezing those elbows back. Straighten those arms. Breathing in as you bring the elbows back. Breathing out as you take the arms straighter. So draw the belly in. Again, not the shoulders up here, shoulders down. So you're really squeezing back, straighten those arms. We will have a second round through this, so you can have another little practice. But make sure, you should feel your biceps working here and the back of the shoulders. So you're squeezing between the shoulder blades. Really invest in quite a strong strength band or a couple of strength bands, and then you've got bands for everything. They're so good. Can't recommend them highly enough. Now, press-ups. You might think, oh my God, and yes, press-ups. But we're going to do them against the wall. This is the best one, against the wall. So we've got the nice and straight. We've got the bottom in, belly in, shoulders down, hands about chest height. Going to breathe in as we go into the wall, breathing out. We're on our toes. Let the heels come up. Unless you're very flexible in the ankles. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, if that's too easy, you can do that on a kitchen surface. I'll show you on this table. This is too low, but I will demonstrate that you can do this on a lower surface, but only if you're a bit stronger and your core's good and your shoulders and arms and neck and shoulders are good. Breathing in and breathing out, and make sure it's a stable, so preferably a kitchen work surface would be great. That would be great. And so there's kitchen work surface, yes, so that's, but preferably on the wall, if you're not sure about your shoulders, arms, neck. The other one, plank. Similarly, if you're not sure about your shoulders, arms, back, etc., you can do a plank leaning against the wall. So without bending your arms, just nice and straight and holding. You can hold this for, again, 15, 20 seconds up to a minute. Belly in, bottom tucked under, so you're not sticking your bottom out behind like so. Your bottom is coming under. Squeeze your bottom in, belly in, shoulders down. So your shoulders aren't up here, they're down. The belly's in, the bottom's tucked under, the shoulders are down. You're breathing. That's the easier one. Tougher one on a chair or on a table, leaning against a table. I'll show you against the table first. So again, those heels are up, shoulders down, tummy nice and firm, Head is not up here, head is not down here. It's nice and straight, shoulders down, belly in. So bottoms in, belly in, shoulders down. Not up, down. Or you can do even tougher, so tougher. If that's too easy, then you can do that on a chair. So nice and straight. Again, we're not arching the back. Bottom in, belly in, shoulders down, nice long neck. Head nice and straight, not up, not down. Shoulders down, not up, down. And draw that belly away from the ground. If that's too tough though, the wall or a table or kitchen worktop. Tougher again, if you want to make that tougher again, down onto a lower surface. So belly in, shoulders down. So that's a plank and lots of variations there. Well, intensities I should say. So let's go through those 6 again. We have the squats. And remember us and keeping the feet hip width apart. Lots of variations on the squats, but we're just doing these 10 to 20 or up to 30 if you're used to these, and only go down as far as you feel comfortable. Tiny little ones or the big ones, entirely up to you. Hands on the hips or reaching out in front, but the core is nice and strong, sticking your bottom out behind you, toes are coming up. 10 to 20 of those. Then you've got those lunge backs, again feet hip width apart again, lunging back. You don't put your feet in a straight line because then we have to balance, so make it parallel, hip width apart, hips nice and straight, shoulders down, breathing. So chest up, shoulders down, belly in, breathing, pelvic floor up and in, men and women. So feet hip width apart. Again, you can go back and down as far as you feel comfortable, keeping the weight backwards and down. We're not keeping the knee over the toes. The knees coming back. So we work these thighs and bottom more than their knees. So we're working thighs and bottom, less strain on the knees. And if you want less strain on the knees, don't bend your knees as much. You can do them whatever pace you feel comfortable. Slower if you're not used to them. Holding on if you need to. You can do lunges holding on. All of them holding on if you need to. Balancing, again holding, a little bit of help holding on to something if you need to. On the leg that is not as good as the other one. Around 15-20 seconds, up to a minute. Belly in, shoulders down. Chest up. Really draw those abs in. And then onto the other leg. So the better leg, so your even better leg, which is more controlled, more coordinated, just feels more stable. So 15-20 seconds, holding on, not holding on, as long as you, up to 60 seconds. It really works and strengthens the thighs to help us to be more stable and more balanced. And we want to stay on our feet when we choose to stay on our feet. We don't want to be anywhere else unless we choose to sit down or lay down. Change to the other leg, the leg that's not quite as good as the other, so it gets two lots of strengthening opportunities, strengthening and stabling opportunities. Draw the belly in, shoulders down, everything up and in, breathing. And then we have the rowing, these wonderful resistance bands. They are so good. So be very careful reaching down and securing the feet, the band around the feet so they don't ping off. Chest up, shoulders down, squeeze between the shoulder blades, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Start off with 10 or so. You can go up to 30 with these. Then you do probably need another resistance band to make it a bit tougher. If you're doing 30 plus, you really need a tougher band. So chest up, shoulders down, belly in. We're not doing this with the shoulders, remember. We're sitting bolt upright. Draw the belly in. Chest up, shoulders down, breathing. Squeeze those elbows back as far as you can. You feel your biceps working, back of the shoulders here. And we have, so that's your rowing. And then we have the presses, the wall press. Breathing in, breathing out. Make sure the hands are about chest height here, chest height here. Breathing in, breathing out. Again, keeping those shoulders down, keeping the belly in, keep the bottom tucked under. Breathing in and breathing out as you push away. Breathing in, breathing out as you push away. Breathing in as you open the chest, breathing out as you close your chest. Breathing in as the chest opens, breathing out. The chest opens as the elbows go back, the chest opens, you can breathe in and then breathe out as the chest closes. So breathing in, that's a general rule, not always, but general rule, breathing in, breathing out. And you can do those on a lower surface to make them tougher, especially on the kitchen surface. Those of you who've been with me for the last 2 or 3 years know about those. And the plank. So again, easier, leaning against, heels up. You can put the heels down if you've got the flexibility, but maybe not. So leaning, keep the shoulders down, draw the belly in, bottom in, shoulders down, without bending the arms this time, just leaning and holding. Again, 15, 20 seconds, up to 60 seconds. You must not feel it in your lower back. If you feel it in your lower back, you need to draw the belly in stronger, shoulders down, draw the belly in stronger. Again, you can make it tougher. I'm leaning on something here, a little bit lower. You can make it tougher, that's too easy. On a chair, keep those shoulders down, tummy nice and firm, head nice and straight, or tougher again on a lower item, but only if your neck, shoulders, arms and back. You must not feel it in your back at all. No, 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 no. Right, so those are the 6 exercises that I recommend to be an all-round good conditioning, strength and toning exercises. Lots of variations on all of those and many, many other exercises. Maybe more of those later another time. So we're going to have a stretch. So after our Nordic walking, we usually stretch our chest. So reach, those hands behind, feet hip width apart, shoulders down, squeeze between the shoulder blades, holding for around, well, as long as you, how long's a piece of string? You can stretch for a long time. Usually 60 seconds is what's recommended for stretching, holding a stretch for at least 60 seconds. But anything's better than nothing. So regularly stretching daily, anything's better than nothing. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So that's for your chest and biceps here. We can reach forwards with the knees slightly soft, slightly bent, and only go as far as you feel comfortable with the elbows slightly bent as well. Not completely bent, not locked straight. So elbows slightly bent. Relax the shoulders down, lean on the poles and only go as far as you feel comfortable with these knees slightly bent, not straight, slightly bent. Again, 20 seconds up to 60 seconds. Come up really slowly from there, so it's a bit like lying down. So nice and slowly, nice and slowly. And we can lean forwards on our poles here and get the heel down. Space here. So like probably a lot of you at home, heel down behind, lean on your poles, shoulders down, lean on this front leg, heel down at the back, foot nice and straight. So the foot is not turned out, it's nice and straight, and feet parallel, they're not one in front of the other, they're parallel, leaning with that heel down, leaning on your poles. So the heels down, feeling a stretch in your left calf if you're facing the same way as me or mirroring me. And then change legs. So you can put your right leg behind or the other leg behind, leaning forwards, keeping that heel down, feet nice and straight, holding that so you've got your feet parallel, again not in a straight line, parallel, not your foot turned out, nice and straight, but feet nice and straight. Keep those shoulders down. Very good. We're going to stretch the back of the legs, so stick the bottom out behind you. Make sure you're leaning on your poles again, useful these poles. And straighten one leg. If you haven't got poles, you can lean on anything. Lean your hands on anything. Make sure it's secure and stable. Straighten that one leg. Bend one leg. Chest up and tailbone up behind. So you're leaning here. You're not doing this. You've got your bottom up behind you, chest forwards. Feel a lovely stretch. And toe down. If you have your toe up, you're more likely to stretch your calf, back of the knee, but we want more of the hamstring. So you want the toe down, bottom up behind you, to focus more on the hamstring stretch here. Change legs. Lean on your poles. Again, toe down, not up. You get a different stretch. It's a different stretch altogether. Leaning forwards, getting your chest up forwards, get your tailbone up behind. Feel that lovely stretch on your hamstrings. There. Those of you who can do this, a lot of you have been doing it with me, ankle just above your knee, lean on your poles. Those of you who haven't done this before, sit on a chair. Probably best to do it on a chair. Ankle just here. Sit up nice and straight. You'll feel a stretch in the buttocks and thighs. Sitting up nice and straight, that might be enough. If that's too uncomfortable, then just let the knee be a bit higher and hold it there. Depends where you're comfortable. You just feel a bit of a stretch around the hips and thighs. Don't ever force or push or overstretch stretches, because we can pull muscles stretching. So really just feel a bit of a stretch and just hold it where it just feels a bit of a stretch. Don't ever push it or force it. And the other knee. So again, you might just want to bring that knee up. You may not want to let it go out to the side, especially if you've had any hip replacements. You want to be careful of that. So knees up there. You may not even want to put the ankle across. You may just want to bring the knee up. So if you've had hip replacements or anything like that, it's just a case of squeezing that knee up. Feel a stretch around the buttocks and thighs. But if you can, put the ankle across and just gently let it be where it feels most comfortable. Sitting up nice and straight. Those of you who are very flexible and can go a bit further, you might want to lean forwards from the hips, but that's only if you're not getting a stretch. So chest up, bottom up behind, leaning as far as you feel comfortable. Just feel a nice stretch around there. Buttocks and thighs. Going to do the front of your thighs. So you've got your two poles together here. You might use your poles to lean on or lean on a wall or something nearby. Get your knee up in front of you. Get hold, if your knee doesn't bend very well, get hold of the trouser leg or the back of the shoe, sock, and really take the weight in that arm. So whatever leg you've got there, the arm's taking the weight. The leg is relaxing, and draw your belly in strong. So don't arch your back. So belly in, chest up, shoulders down. If you can get the front of the shins, but only if your knee bends well. If it doesn't, do this one. So you've got the trouser leg, chest up. Very important coming out of this one, and you're holding again 15, 20, up to 60 seconds. Bring the knee in front and then let the leg come down. It alleviates the possibility of getting hamstring cramps. And then the other leg. Again, bring that knee up in front so it alleviates reduces the risk of hamstring cramps. Get hold of, if you need to get down like so, to get hold of the trouser leg, lean on something. Make sure you're leaning on something. Make sure you've got the weight here. And also your back. So it's very important to keep your belly in strong. Don't arch the back. No, 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 no. Belly in, chest up, shoulders down. Make sure you've got the weight of your leg in your hand. Feeling the stretch on the front of your hip and thigh. There. So chest up, shoulders down. Breathing. And bring that knee in front. Very important to bring that knee in front to alleviate any hamstring cramps there. We've got the poles here. Let's take the poles behind us. If your shoulders and neck are fine, take the arm up behind. Then do that. With your free hand, take your free hand and steady that elbow. Evenly standing on both feet. Draw the belly in. I don't want any archy backs like this. No, no, no. Belly in, bottom in. And steady holding. If you're very flexible in your shoulders, you might do that one or do the yogi stretch. But otherwise, that should be comfortable enough. Then pass the poles or go to scratch your back with the other hand. And again, steady with the other one. Holding 15, 20 seconds. Up to a minute, belly in, bottom in, steady with that free hand, steadying that elbow there. As far as you feel comfortable, if that's comfortable down there, that's fine. Don't overstretch, never overstretch. So feel that stretch there. As long as you feel the stretch, it's fantastic. And knees slightly soft. So belly in, slightly soft knees. Very gently come down from there. So we've done the back of the arms, we've done the front of the legs, we've done the chest, we've done the back of legs, we've done the calves. I will add this last one because this is what I usually do with my groups. Hip flexor stretch. You're going to weight on the front leg here, heel up behind, and you're going to lean on the poles or lean on something in front of you, and you're going to do this Elvis pelvis. So you're going to squeeze your bottom in. Feel a really good stretch down the front of the hips and thighs. And just hold that there. So you've got the weight on this front leg, toe tucked under. Not on the toe, but toe tucked under. Squeeze the bottom through. Feel a stretch down the front of the hips and thighs. This is quite a tough stretch to get. So don't be too concerned if you don't get it right away. If you can get a bigger stride here and get the hips through, you might feel more of a stretch. If you don't feel it, keep the weight on the front leg, heel up behind, breathe, and change legs. So the other side. So you're leaning forwards on that front leg, heel up behind, and then squeeze those hips through. Very important. Squeeze the bottom, squeeze the hips through. Imagine you're slumping over a big Swiss ball, if you know what that is. Or it's just a big ball. So belly's in. Bottom's tucked under, feel the stretch down the front of that hip and thigh of the back leg, toe tucked under, weight on the front leg, and breathe. And hold that there. Fabulous. No, I think that covers all the major body areas for exercising, toning, strengthening, stretching, and you've mobilised, and hope you've enjoyed this, and keep well. Keep safe and keep walking, keep exercising, have some fun, say hello to some people when you're out. Most people are friendly when I've been out, so yes. And hope to see you again soon.